everyone's home these days. Tom Wood, President and CEO of Floor Coverings International down in Atlanta, is with us right now. And Tom, I got to start off by asking you, how does all this affect the way you make business decisions?
Hi, Tracy. Thank you for having us on today. That's a great question, and I'll tell you the rocky economy over the last 2 to 3 years, well, really the last 3 to 4 years, has certainly affected every everyday decision that you make in a small business. I would say the business community that we are all used to over the last 25 years, is, as we all know, is gone. There's a new normal, and I think when you get up on a Monday morning after a weekend that we just had, knowing that you've got more decisions to make, there's not any predictability of how those decisions are going to be made and really what tomorrow is going to bring.
That's comforting. So, you know, I mean, you're in the business of expanding. You have expanded. As a matter of fact, you're acquiring market share. You're up 20% over last year. How then do you go about and do that and say, because basically what you're saying is you're taking a risk?
Yes, absolutely. I would say, you know, as I said, this business climate over the past several years has been very challenging. But our organization at Floor Coverings International, that really focuses in residential and light commercial flooring, has really looked at this as an opportunity where we've had to repackage ourselves, remake what our business model is going to be, and certainly how we're going to work with our consumers. And that's been what's largely helped us here the past couple of years. As a matter of fact, we're up actually nearly 50% this year. Oh. But really, the way that that's come about is by getting back to some of the grassroots basics that have made the North American economy what it has been over the last 70 years. And that's been focusing on the customer, making sure that you've got a differentiated value proposition, making sure that they get something from you that is unique, that's different, that's not mainstream, and then also in our organization, making sure that we're aligned with our different 100 local franchise owners across North America.
Now, I want to get to the franchising piece of this, but this notion that you were listening to your consumers' demands. Oh, so we're talking about floor coverings. We're talking about Pergo floor, you know, I guess, I don't know what else. I have Pergo in my house, so that's why I know. Hardwood as well, I would guess, right?
That's right.
Okay, so...
Yep, exactly.
What you're saying by listening to your consumers is that, you know what, it's like that who moved my cheese thing. If you stay still, you can't continue to grow. But if you listen to the needs of your consumers, you can sort of weather yourself through this.
That is absolutely correct. And here's a few facts that we know in our industry. The flooring industry going into 2007 was estimated to be about $100 billion of an industry across North America. Through 2007 until the end of 2009, our industry actually cratered nearly 40%, and then through 2010 and into this year, it's been flat on top of that down 40%. But here's what we know, though, about our consumers. Since we focus almost entirely on the residential consumer, and a piece of data came out a few years ago that really verified something that we've known for many years, and that is in the North American home, when it comes to remodeling and specifically when it comes to flooring, that decision is driven 70% exclusively by the female of the household.
Well, 70%. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I made those decisions, but I mean, I'm a single mom. But we, unfortunately, are the ones that end up with the job of figuring out who's going to clean it.
Exactly. Who's going to clean it and how it's going to come and get installed in your home, actually, in a very unobtrusive way. And what we've done with our business is when we took a look at the flooring industry and said, okay, what is happening in the flooring industry and what's happening with this female consumer? A few years ago, what we realized when we really were able to focus in and again verify that it is a female consumer and it's a bona fide fact as opposed to a feeling that we've had for many years, is understanding that traditionally bringing flooring products to the North American home meant that you or another homeowner would have to hop in a car, drive to a big box location, get out and look at thousands of different products, and then somehow in the confines of that store envision how is this piece of carpet or this tile or this hardwood going to look when you bring it back home and put it with your furniture, put it with your window treatments or your paint colors or your countertop. Right. Our business is what you would describe as a mobile business, and we changed our operating model such that we come right to your home. We'll bring all of the different products into your home, allow you to see what they look like with all of your furniture and your decor and things like that. And then the other thing that we did coming through this economy to really help bolster the fact that we were different than our competitors and to give us that edge is we developed a piece of technology that lets us come into somebody's home, photograph the rooms that they'd like to have done with new floors, and within 15 minutes we can take that photograph and render it so that you can see thousands of different flooring options right then and there on a tablet computer, right in front of you in your family room, changing your carpet to hardwood or your hardwood to tile, or mixing hardwood and tile together in various different forms. And what that does is it allows that female consumer to see, okay, what would it look like if I were going to change my products, and how's it going to look with the window treatments and the
Oh, I
countertops
love
and
that. And I love that you come to the house. I mean, to me, that makes perfect, brilliant sense. Okay, so now let's talk about the business side. You're not public.
No, we are not public. We are a privately held company.
No interest in going public.
No, we're owned by a company in Canada, actually, called the Franchise Company,
right,
that owns several other consumer brands that are in home improvement, painting. California Closets, for example, is one of our sister companies, and several different home improvement brands.
I mean, today's a bad day to ask you if you want to go public anyway, though. That's my fault.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay, so
yes,
now let's talk about the notion of franchising this. You know, we're showing some pictures now of wood floors, and I guess there was a marble picture that was just up. Why franchise and not, oh, here's the marble. Why franchise and not just own these things outright?
Well, all of our different businesses, and I've been part of our parent company for over 25 years, all of our businesses are franchised. And what we have truly believed from the time that certainly I was back in college and started as a young entrepreneur is that individual local business ownership is what really drives these businesses and allows them to thrive and to prosper. Because when you've got a local owner that has that franchise and that has their feet on the street, has a pulse on the local community, knows what's happening with their neighbors and things like that, there's no better way than to ensure that you've got that best opportunity to thrive. And when you take a good, sound franchisor that is keeping an eye on the business aspect of things like the merchandising and marketing and advertising and the financial picture of the business, and combine that with that local entrepreneur, we believe that that's the best opportunity for expansion, growth, and to prosper.
Are your franchisors able to get money? Are they able to get funding to come in and do this, or do you offer funding for them?
We don't offer a lot of funding. That has probably been the most difficult challenge that we had. Goodness, I remember sitting in September 2008 in a meeting with about 200 other franchisors that had nothing to do with what was happening in the economy. We flipped on the television and watched literally over the series of about 2 hours, 4 different banks fail on the same day. And we looked around the room and we all knew right then and there that all of our different businesses were going to have to evolve and going to have to evolve quickly. So what that's meant, to come back to your question, is no, funding is not available for the franchisees. Many of our franchise owners right now are rolling over 401ks, or they're using their own individual savings.
Wow.
But I'll tell you, there's a silver lining in this. We're finding right now that the group of franchisees that have joined us since 2008, they're a little bit more motivated, they're a little bit more hungry, they are much more focused and tenacious. And I'll tell you that this is probably one of the best opportunities for us as a franchisor in terms of bringing in good people into our businesses that I've seen in the last 25 years. It's a wonderful opportunity right now.
Now that's interesting because so many people are out of work, so maybe you're starting to see people say, hey, enough with this company stuff, I'm going to go out and do this on my own. Are there certain areas that you're really seeing growth in?
No, we're seeing it all across the U.S. and Canada right now. We've been watching very carefully the different trends in the different segments of the United States. And I'll tell you, Tracy, every time we think that we see a trend in one particular area like the Northeast, it seems to switch again in a 6 or 8 week period of time. We see the same thing in the Midwest. It's been solid this year, really since the end of 2009. We've been seeing steady increases across all of our markets in the U.S. and Canada since that point.
Tom, it's an inspiring story to hear that somebody out there at least is doing well. And again, I love the notion that you're going to come to my house. I mean, that's just
absolutely
great. Isn't it a nice little coinky-dink that your last name is Wood, too? Tom Wood,
yes,
President and CEO of Floor Coverings International, down in Atlanta. Thanks for being with us, sir.
Thanks for having me, Tracy.
Check out the website.